My name's Sarah Whetstone. I'm the Executive Director for the North Penn United Way. I've been on the job about 3 years, and you know, one of the things that I wanted to do first starting was get a feel for what was happening you know, within our United Way, where they wanted to go. And I saw a lot of disconnect between what their aspirations were and their hopes for the community and where we were.
United Way, to us, was really the focal point of the community, or could be the focal point of the community. It was the focal point as far as fundraising and allocating funds, but we thought about it, and there was really no other organization that was in kind of the seat that we were in to be able to help out our entire community.
The United Way, as I understood it, was functioning at a, you know, I guess on par with what everybody else sort of thinks of when they think of organizational and community involvement. They were sending money to worthwhile causes. They were working with community partners and community agencies. But I don't know that they felt like they were making a lot of difference. We needed to do something different. And that's how we started talking about doing something that would be more community focused, that would have conversation as a main component of it. And that's when I introduced her to Appreciative Inquiry, which is one way to do that.
And I went out and asked 3 questions, which is, you know, what do you hope, you know, what are your hopes for the communities, and what do you see as your most pressing, issues? And I asked them to step outside of their, you know, agency hat or their, you know, business hat.
When we started doing this interview process, first of all, it was very positively focused. It was about what are the strengths in our community and what are the strengths that people had as individuals that they played out, whether it was through United Way or through other community roles. And the interviews themselves were, they were touching to hear the stories of how people became involved in United Way, what they saw as possibilities for the community. They really, I think the interviewee felt as if they were counted, you know, as if what they had to say mattered. And for us who were doing the interviews, it was just fabulous, a fabulous interplay of history and potential for the future.
Well, one of the things that I think is important to understand about conversation is stories have power and meaning. And in an organizational setting, whether it's a business, a not-for-profit, the memories that people have, the experiences that people have with an organization have meaning to them. And when you start talking about those stories and you do it in a structured way, what you discover is a lot of energy that people have. Some of it's been maybe dissipated because they've lost track of what the agency's doing, or they're no longer connected in a direct way. But when you start to re-engage them through conversation, that energy comes back.
And what I find really encouraging about where we've been going with this is we have so many committees now voluntarily working to better our community. I don't even know who most of the folks are that are volunteering. We've had people that, you know, have just kind of bought onto our cause and have dedicated so many hours and are so eager to volunteer that that it's really just kind of solidifies what we've all kind of thought about our community over the years, but we really just needed a new catalyst.
I think our reputation in the community has changed a lot through having these conversations. One, I think that people realize that we don't think we're the big know-it-all in the community, and that we are not looking, at least in the process that I'm using, I'm not looking to you know, dictate where this goes. And for an executive director, that's a really uncomfortable place to be. That I can look at you today and tell you, I don't know where this train is headed. Exactly. It's not a comfortable space. But in order for us to do the best for the community, to show the best strategies and have the best results around education, income, and health, I think having those community conversations with anybody who will listen and anybody who can play the role is so vital.
I see wonderful potential moving forward in the education, income, and health plan, especially with a community impact focus. When we were going through the summit and at subsequent meetings, I heard this great story about the ogre and all these villagers who are trying to save babies out of a river. Babies are being somehow tossed in the river and villagers are saving them. But ultimately, if we don't stop the ogre upstream who's throwing the babies in, it's going to be a problem out of control. If we get to stop the ogre, meaning we find solutions that are not just based on symptoms, but based on root causes, and we solve those, then we solve a whole lot of problems downstream. And I'm excited about that potential.